Welcome! In this video, we're going to explore Classkick. We will walk through how to set up your classes, a brief overview of the tools, and how to get your students on the app. Classkick is a valuable tool for synchronous learning because it gives you real-time insight into your students' work. Instead of wondering what they're working on, you can actually see their screens as they complete tasks. One of my favorite parts about Classkick is students can raise their hand for help. You can respond with quick feedback, and you can navigate through student screens. Let's get started by creating an account. Go to classkick.com and click on Sign Up for free at the top right. Click on I am a teacher, then click Sign Up with Google. Use your school Gmail. Once you are signed in, you can set up your classes. Click on Rosters and Co-Teachers on the far left. If you're an elementary teacher, you can create just one class or classes for different subjects. If you're a secondary teacher, create classes based on your class hours. Click on Add button at the top right, then click New Roster. Now you can edit that class. Click on New Roster, rename the class, and go ahead and change the color if you wish. There are two ways for students to access the class. Let's go over the first way. Click on Students, then click Add Students. After choosing Basic, you can add the names of your students by adding their first, then last name with a comment in between. You can use spaces if you wish. If you have a lot of students, this is time consuming, and we'll go over another way to add students. Once you're done, click Add, and then refresh your screen, and you will see a list of your students here. The second approach is by letting them add their own names when given the class code. In order to create a class code, you will need to create your first assignment. We will go over creating an assignment in a later video. Click on Class Code. You can project the code to your students if they are using the app, or copy the link. With the code, students can type their name, and then it will add their name to your roster automatically. Let's look at how a student logs in. Even if you choose option 1 or 2, students still have to add their own name. There are some roster options that we will go over at the end of this video that prevent students from being able to join if their name is not in the roster. If you have kindergartner or first grade students, you can create a text shortcut on their iPad so that they can quickly add their name. Tap on General, then tap Keyboard, tap Text Replacement, then tap the Add button at the top. Add the student name and phrase, then type name for the shortcut. Again, add their name in the phrase, and then you can use name for the shortcut, so when they type name, it will bring their name up. So on the student iPad, they will type out name, and at the bottom of their keyboard, it will show their actual name, so they can tap and it will fill it in. Any assignment you have will always give you a class code, so be sure you give the right code. Let's overview how to create your classes. Be sure to sign up with Google Classroom, and for your students, they will use a class code and their name. You will need to create a class, roster, and an assignment before having your students join. You have two options for adding students, but my favorite is option 2. There are ways to prevent students from signing in if they don't type the exact student name, so let's review some roster setting options. Go into a class roster and click on the 3 dots at the top right. Then choose Lock Options at the top of the menu. You will have 2 options to lock your roster. First, you can lock this roster. Once you believe all students have joined and names are correct, use this to freeze changes. So before you click this button, make sure that your students have joined at least once and their name is spelled correctly, and they're using consistent names and usernames. The single device login, this feature ensures a student can only be logged in on one device at a time. If locked, you may see an error on the student's end, sorry, your work is open on another device. As we wrap up, let's take a quick look at the roster setting overviews. For each class roster, you have a few important controls. First, you can lock student sign-in options. This prevents students from signing in if they don't type their names correctly, and it also stops more than one student from using the same account. You also have the option to disallow peer help if you'd like students to only receive feedback directly from you. And finally, you can delete a roster if it's no longer needed. These settings give you flexibility and control, making sure your rosters stay accurate and your classroom workflow runs smoothly. Check out our next video on how to create and manage an assignment in Classkick. Thanks for watching!